Hi, this is Soulgazer. Today I got a review for something different that I've never done a review for. It's Big Baller's brand, Lonzo Ball collection. I believe this was 110. You can get it at the Big Baller's brand website. There's like a link to the Lonzo Ball collection, I believe, and it's in there. There's 3 different colors. And out of all 3, this was my favorite color. So I picked this out. The other 2, I think they were like Lakers color. So that didn't really interest me that much. But this one is like almost like Sprite. Anyways, let's open this up. So this was 110, which is about the same as the standard NBA jersey. Of course, this is a little smaller brand, so the price has to be a little bit more expensive to accommodate the cost that they have to make this. And the first thing I noticed is that they have this like Mitchell & Ness type of fabric. It's like a mesh knit. It's like a perforated one and a big perforation. And it's actually embroidery. I was pretty surprised. I thought this would be like a cheap print or something. That was a nice surprise. Came with a paper, tiny one. Let's look at the hang tag. Has the Big Balls brand, Lonzo Ball. It's like a little thicker cardstock, but the print is not that great in quality. Lonzo Ball logo. Lonzo Ball. It feels a little bit cheap. I think they could have went a little bit further with this quality. So this is Lonzo Ball jersey collection, or at least one of them. First thing I noticed is the collar being pretty narrow. The width are pretty tight, and the opening is pretty narrow too. So if you have a thick neck, you might want to go up a size. I think it'll be tight around your neck. And if you're gonna have a hoodie, it might be a problem. And the width of the strap is pretty narrow. And this rib knit, or the trim, is same as the Adidas. It's just a jersey knit. It's not the one that goes up and down. They're flat, and same thing with the armhole. There are 2 different yarns, blue yarn and yellow yarns. Same thing here. And the inside is all yellow. The stitch here looks a little bit cheap. It doesn't have a clean finish, which is not good. So the connection here between this rib knit and this base fabric, it's a little bit weaker compared to Nike. But the stitch width is pretty narrow, so maybe it'll be fine. And there's 2 layer top stitch, so yeah, it should be fine. But it would be nicer if they have a clean finish right here. There's 2 stitch going on. They look pretty even. The stitch actually looks pretty nice. The distance is same throughout. Even the distance from here to the edge are the same. And there's a seam right here on the shoulder. That's where the rib connects. And they are matching pretty well too. So far, I am pleased with the quality. A little bit of warping here, and I'm not sure if it's just the way that it was folding, but left and right has different height. It's off by about half an inch. So that's not good. So one shoulder is coming forward, one is going backward. But it could just be the way that they fold it too. Yeah. Let's look at the logo. Ballers, number 2. So this is fabric. Right here, this is fabric and this is stitch. Let's see how it looks on the inside. So this is all stitched in, this yellow outline, as well as the zigzag stitch on the blue section. So this zigzag stitch right here, this is sewn on, and this is also embroidery. And this fabric, it's a fabric, but it's a little cheap looking. A little disappointed in this. She could have been a little better fabric than this. But it's not too bad. Little bit of issue right here. I'm not sure if they purposely did this, but this line is not that good. So because they did embroidery stitch on the edge, you see some of the blue fabric in between. And this yellow is also stitched, so if you pull this, you can see. This will be a problem with its durability, because this, when you catch it, it will start to rip. Your fingernail or something will get caught, and one by one, it'll come off. And it'll look pretty bad after a while. So that's one little issue there. And for this, unlike the logo, this yellow part is a fabric piece as well as this one. There's no embroidery like this on the number. And it makes sense because the amount of surface that they have is a lot bigger on this. So it doesn't really make sense to use these stitch to cover this big space. But the stitch looks okay. I don't see any major issue with it. And let's look at the bottom. Has a Lonzo ball branding tag at the hem. And the shape looks very similar to Mitchell & Ness. Let's look at the back. Same neckline as the front. There's no separate piece, it's just one piece on the neck and the shoulder. On the place that has NBA logo usually, has Lonzo Ball logo. This is a print or like a plastic like piece that they glued on. I think over time this will crack. It's pretty stiff, so if you put it in a dryer a lot, I think it'll start to crack. the ball. Same as the front logo. This blue fabric and outline was embroidery and zigzag stitch. Same thing throughout, including this part that's embroidery. And it looks pretty good. Number 2, same as the front. And nothing else in the back. There is no side panel in this jersey, they just have a seam. And if you look at the inside, you can see that there is nothing. For my preference, it would have been nicer if they had additional stitch, so the allowance will be facing one direction. So this thing is twisting right here. Because of this tag, they placed it on this way, so it's facing, the tag is facing that way, and because they put it on this side, the fabric wants, or the seam allowance wants to go this way, but when they stitched the hem, they went the other way, so there's a twist right here. This is a small thing that they need to fix in the future, not just for this Big Ballers brand, but in general. I see these stitch once in a while where they mix around, so they twist. This will not lay well on the body because of this. So if you were to go this way with seam allowance, this should be on the other side, on this side, facing that way or facing this way. I personally think it should go this way if the seam allowance is going that way. So the overall fit, when I tried on, the big issue was the strap. As you can see on this one, it has a strap that goes horizontally, whereas Mitchell & Ness has an angle to it. This angle will help you lay the strap on the shoulder naturally, but because this is straight, I have an empty space between the shoulder and the edge of the armhole. So this is something they need to fix for the next model. If you have a hoodie on, I think it'll be a little bit better hidden. But if you have a t-shirt on, or if you're wearing just by itself, this will probably bother you. Other than that, it feels pretty similar to Mitchell & Ness. If you're a fan of Big Balls brand or Lonzo Ball, this is not a bad pickup, considering how much the sneakers cost. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as liking the video. And see you next time.